Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Jeff Metcalf went on Fox News to discuss Karmelo Anthony's parents and aspects of the case that ended with Karmelo Anthony receiving a 35-year sentence for killing Austin Metcalf. Check it out.
Metcalf's dad, Jeff Metcalf, joins me now here in Dallas. Jeff, thanks for being with us here today.
Thank you, Will. Thanks for having me.
You know, I think I'd love to just start this conversation with some of what I just shared with the audience. This is not new to you. I'm sure you've seen the video and heard the 911 call. I did notice you took your earpiece out. You didn't want to hear that audio again of the 911 call.
Correct.
Just too hard to hear it again and to see this video.
And there's another body cam footage that hasn't been released, and it has some pretty graphic details, and I can hear my son screaming, and it's something I don't really want to care to listen to again.
Totally.
So before I go on, fam, I'm gonna tell you straight out the gate, this dude is a fraud. He lost all credibility when he made that video talking about black folks who don't take care of their children, talking about black men don't take care of their children, black people on welfare, and calling Karmelo Anthony a watermelon felon. He starts talking about how this is not about race, but yet he injects race in his 3-hour diatribe, an indictment against the black community. This dude has lost all credibility. That does not mean that I don't have any empathy for the death of his son, a kid getting killed. That is not what that means. I know how to compartmentalize things. I know how to say that I can look at this case and say, it's messed up that this kid was killed. At the same time, this kid got a messed up daddy, and he gets no sympathy from me at all, because he don't give a damn about me and nobody that looks like me. He says that Karmelo Anthony's parents injected race into this thing. But after we heard what he had to say about all black people, we already knew that he had race injected into it from day one.
Understandable. What, with this video's release, Jeff, do you hope the public can see about this moment?
Well, I mean, obviously, the trial not being publicly viewed live, due to there's so many minors involved.
And look at him trying to act all dignified now. Now he's trying to act classy, and he's trying to act like he's dignified. But we already know, we know for a fact that a zebra can't change its stripes.
And that's a different subject I could talk about on its own, because look at the damage that these young students who had to witness this murder, who have to live with this for the rest of their life. Every one of them, I believe, are in counseling. PTSD could be a thing. I mean, this is a trauma that you carry the rest of your life, possibly. Hopefully they can get the help they need and move forward and not be scarred from it. Me personally, I'm the same way. I need the help too, to make sure that I can move forward. And that's what I really want to concentrate on, is moving forward. I hope this video can clear up a lot of the misinformation that was provided throughout the entire year before the trial came to light. There were multiple lies and mistruths that were put on social media, that were spoken by even individuals that have some fame. People had their own opinions without even seeing the facts. And that's the part I have trouble with.
What do you make of that? Candidly, with the audience, you and I spoke a little bit earlier today, and it's one of the great mysteries for me, and how something that is so clear, the facts so obvious, was turned into something that was this great national discussion of race. I think you called it earlier. How did this become George Floyd 2.0?
Unfortunately, in today's moral decay of society, as we witnessed, people believe.
You heard what he said, fam? He dog whistling. How did this become George Floyd 2.0? For people like him and Will Kane, they despise George Floyd. They think George Floyd is an abomination, and they hate people who stood up for George Floyd. They hate the protest. They hate everything that George Floyd represented, and primarily justice, right? They hated that. And so when they say George Floyd 2.0, They're dog whistling. He's dog whistling.
Believe that if they have their own voice, they scream loud enough, they're right. And they believe perception is their own reality.
Now listen to him projecting. Remember, fam, every accusation is a confession.
It may not be truth, but in their mind, it is their own reality. For a person to not able to objectively look at something, use common logic, common sense, to come to a determination just based on merely the facts, not the color of one's skin, that tells me a whole lot about your character if you choose that direction.
His whole diatribe that he went on let us know exactly what this was about from day one. Again, projecting, again, every accusation is a confession. He's the one who from day one injected race into it. And look, and let's keep it a buck, fam. This has always been about race. Anytime there's a black defendant or a white defendant and you have a black victim or you have a white victim, you're going to have race involved. And that is because we are living in a double standard society. We have a two-tier justice system, and you can't get around that. You can act like it ain't about race, but it's always about race.
I feel like you know the moment this became more than simply a horrible tragedy and a crime story in North Texas, where it became this larger thing, and it was that press conference.
Yes, sir. I do believe that was probably one of the turning points. I was there to show up to pray. I was hoping we could show the world this wasn't a racial divide thing, that we could kind of close the gap instead of widening it. But at that point, they'd obviously retained the services of Dominique Alexander, a convicted baby-shaking felon advocate who decided to throw me out of the press conference, had me removed by police, and then proceeded to gaslight me and tell me how I was such, I can't remember the word he used, but that I shouldn't have been there, and it was not dignified to my son or myself, which I really couldn't quite understand as they proceeded to gaslight me. And also took there was a young lady who has followed the case also from the entire time. Her name is Sarah Fields. Also showed information about her. That's when they took it from any type of remorse, which they did not show, to the fact of now we're going to play the race card, and now we're going to politicize this. Now we're getting a political activist involved. The two things I said on one of the first interviews I ever did was, please don't make this about race, and please don't politicize it. But they chose to do both.
And you're
family, I'm glad that Dominique kicked him out of that press conference, because when we looked at him on that video and he was going crazy on black people, he went on his racist rant. That lets us know that Dominique was right on point. You can say whatever you want to say about that dude, but he was on point. Why else do you show up to a person's press conference whose son is accused of killing your son, unless you're trying to create some type of drama? You're trying to make it about you. He knew exactly what he was doing. This wasn't about Austin. This was about him. This whole thing that he's doing right now, going on this 3-hour diatribe, that was about him. Him being on Fox News right now is about him. It ain't about Austin. It's about him. He's trying to act like he's this grieving father and loving grieving father. And hey, fam, I don't know what's in his heart, but I know what's in his actions. I know he wasn't there. I know he was the absentee father he talks about black people or black men being. I know he wasn't under the roof with his child. Yeah, he was not there. He was not present. He was living in an entire different house. Yeah, perhaps had he been under that roof, he could have had some heart-to-heart discussions with Austin that could have led him on a different path, to whereas he had more respect for another person's existence, where he wasn't trying to bully people. Because remember, Karmelo Anthony was not the only one being bullied by Austin and his brother Hunter. It is alleged that Austin and Hunter was bullying some cheerleaders, and one of them told the cheerleaders that my hands are bisexual. I beat up men, I beat up boys and girls. Yeah. What do y'all think about that? That don't mean nothing, right? Right, I got you.
Simply get together and pray?
All I wanted, I was hoping.
And hold on, fam. And before I go any further, you know what? I'm just going to end this because, okay, I'll play a little bit more.
They dedicated the season to him, and that became the motto. And they also presented me and Megan with a framed jersey.
Yeah, and here's from what I understand, Megan, his ex-wife, can't stand him. They say she can't stand him. He was a horrible man, a horrible husband. Yeah, fam. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. See, when this thing first happened, and he was saying that he forgave him and all this kind of stuff, I was like, damn, that's pretty big of him. And I was actually like, you know what? I ain't got no problem with how, what dude is saying. I ain't got no problem with how he feels. I wasn't on the defense with him. I was like, he have a right to feel how he feels, right? And I thought he was being genuine. But then the video comes out after Karmelo is found guilty with him going on this 3-hour rant, going crazy, this racist rant, calling black people everything, like, yeah, we freed you, and we in 400 years, and we're, mad at us, and that, like, whoa, so that's who he really was. See, Dominique knew something that we didn't know about him. Dominique understood his true character. Yeah. So now we know who he really is. So y'all can have sympathy and empathy for him if you want to, but he won't have any for you. I hear a lot of times, I hear other people talk about how black people only are outraged when somebody non-black kills a black person. I can say the same thing. Y'all are only outraged when somebody black kills one of y'all. Yeah. That's how that goes. Now, why should Karmelo Anthony's parents apologize? I can see apologizing, having sympathy for the tragedy. I can see a young man lost his life. That ain't cool. Dude was just starting to live. He lost his life, but you cannot escape the responsibility of your actions. For every action, there's a reaction. If the action of Austin stepping to Karmelo, confronting him and pushing him doesn't take place, Austin is still alive and well. None of this happens. We're not even having this discussion. We're talking about something else. If that doesn't happen. Trying to get him to, are they trying to make them apologize because they want them to accept a legal or moral responsibility? I think an apology can be viewed as an admission of fault. If the parents believe that their son acted justly, if they feel that he acted lawfully in self-defense, why should they apologize? It's just like if somebody was accused of a crime they didn't commit, why would they apologize if they didn't commit? And that's what the courts oftentimes want people to do when they're found guilty. Because In this country, oftentimes we think once a person is found guilty, that means that they were actually guilty. That's the way we think. But just because a person is found guilty doesn't mean they're guilty. Just because they're found guilty in a court of law does not mean that they're guilty. That's why you have appeals. Parents are not automatically responsible for their kids' actions. Yes, we can say it starts at home. But if the parents' behavior did not contribute to their kid committing some type of act, then you can't put that on the parents. Karmelo was raised by loving, attentive, present parents. Karmelo had a clean record of being a good guy. Karmelo was an honor roll student. You can't put that on the parents. Karmelo's parents are suffering like Austin's parents are suffering. Austin's parents lost a child. He lost a child to a violent act. He's dead. Karmelo's parents lost a child through the justice system because of committing that violent act. So there are no winners here. The legal case and the personal feelings are separate issues. I think both have suffered a great loss. Austin's parents, they lost their sons. Their son lost his life. Karmelo's parents, Karmelo lost his freedom, his reputation, future opportunities, and his peace of mind. This case is going to haunt him for the rest of his life. Ain't nowhere around that. Ain't nowhere around that. It's going to haunt his children. These people know how to get on you, boy. Like when a black person is accused of a crime, and this mainstream or dominant society decide that they're the public enemy, they're going to ride him for the day till the day that he died. In the same way that they did O.J. Simpson until the day he died. Now, the funny thing is, or the interesting thing is, when a white person is accused of committing a heinous crime and they get off, they actually get to go back to living their life. Once they go through the system, they go through the system and they actually are exonerated, or they beat the trial, they beat the case or whatever, or maybe they never get charged. They just be able to go on with their life, and they go on to write books and do movies, all kinds of stuff, be consultants for films and all kinds of stuff. Like they allow them to live their life out. Once they go through the system, once the system say, okay, we're done with you, case over, case closed, they get to go on about their business. But if you're black, they're going to make sure they dog you for the rest of your days. And that's where we are with this. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.